Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Jordan, also known as J-Monster, and today we're going to be looking at the Haladin, and they're a little bit different. So the Haladin, there are some limitations on some of their units, even though all of them are distinctly mid-tier. So the Haladin cannot, for example, bring 12 Ulfodin. That would be ridiculously broken. They can instead bring a maximum of 4 Ulfodin for their army. Ulfodin, hella scary. 4 of them is going to go a long way. But you cannot just bring a stack of Ulfodin. And the reason why I feel the need to make this distinction is because all of the Haladin units that are infantry, with the exception of the detachments, which you're probably not going to want to bring in the context of the RP outside of garrisons, are technically classified as being mid-tier. They use a lot of mid-tier bonuses. They've got some other like sort of tricks that make them a little bit stronger than you'd expect from a mid-tier unit, especially when it comes to their size or their weapon type, but I digress. They are still very much mid-tier. So let's take a look. Mid-tier, the Rigswear of Brethil rather, are mid-tier. Ulfodin of Ethelbrandir are mid-tier. Warda, with the exception, I would say, of the Skaldmere, they are definitely not mid-tier. Sweardebroder, Freyswear, the Huskarlar. These are all mid-tier units, and they're going to make up the bulk of your forces as the Haladin. So most of your army is going to be composed of these mid-tier troops here. Oops. It looks like an X, and then I click it, but it's not an X. Next you have the cavalry units. They are going to be all high tier. Every single one of them are high tier, but also the detachments, the dismounted detachments here. So if you want to bring the dismounted Mardrot, you can certainly opt to do so. Dismounted Walsh-Rider, you could bring them as well if you need a little bit of extra infantry. They do, I believe, have some extra ammo over their mounted buddies, so that is a potential reason to bring them. But I think they're otherwise, yeah, identical, with the exception of the ammunition and maybe the range as well. These guys have a higher range than the mounted variant. Mardrot over here, they're a little bit... Their ammunition, I believe, is higher. No, it's not. But their missile attack is higher. And they have the mobility of being on a horse, but they do have less men, whereas the Mardrot have 60. So there's some options there, but these are all of your high-tier units. And so are the Skaldmere of Haleth. So that's important to note. Next up, you've got the sort of bodyguard or like uber-tier units. And that is definitely going to be the Dire Warda of Ethelbrandir. But you could also bring a unit of the Walsh-Rider Wain Riders and use them in tandem with, say, 4 units of Mardrot as like a really strong harassment force. Stuff like that. And then you can, mix and match that with some extra Walsh-Riders or whatever else you decide. Maybe you want a Skaldmere. Maybe you want 2 Skaldmere. I don't know. Actually, no, you can't have more than 1 Skaldmere because they're a legendary company. Yeah, that's my bet. But yeah, you could load out your army with this. And then you've got a competent harassment force. You've got some nice Skaldmere there as well. Yeah. So let's go ahead and build an army, and we're going to center it around the Ulfodin because I feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate towards them anyway. So we've got Ulfodin there. We're going to fill that out with 3 Sweardebroder, which is going to give us 7. So we're about halfway there. And then maybe I want some real scary, like, mid-range punch. So we're going to boost that with 3 units of Huskarlar. And then finally, we've got 2 more options here. We're probably going to bring some Warda, or maybe we need a little bit of range support, so we can bring a couple of Freyswear. That's a solid core to an army, a lot of mid-range and close-range punch, with a little bit of ranged support as well, and some support for your flanks. So, always a nice thing to have. From there, you can mix it up with whatever you want, really. You've got lots of mobility there. Maybe I want to drop one of the Walsh-Riders and throw in a Skaldmere just to support my my melee troops a little bit better. All of that is an option. Yeah, there's a sort of basic breakdown of the Haladin and what you can put into an army. It's a little bit more confusing with the Haladin, so this video I think will be really helpful for a lot of people out there, especially in particular the Haladin players who might not be 100% clear on what fits where, because it's a little bit more messy with the Haladin because they don't have sort of a form of military. That's like an aesthetic we gave them, very purposefully, but nonetheless it can be a little bit confusing. So I hope you guys found this useful. My name is Jordan, also known as J Monster. I'll see you next time, and we're going to be talking about Angband, who is another really easy faction.